Imam Muhammad has put into perspective and communicate the religion for our reality, number one. So nobody, no other scholar, there's scholars nowadays they're talking about picking up the American flag and being American, etc. But he was the first to pick up the flag and carry it, right? And say that we are Muslim Americans, right? We have Maba, we have the military, Imam Talib Sharif, and others who served in the military, right? But before Imam Muhammad came with that perspective, other people from other orientations talking down on America, talking, you all know this. So Imam Muhammad, first off, he delivers the religion to us and expresses the religion to us to help us with this current context that we are in. Secondly, there's an analogy I give to my students. One of my students told me, one of the students that attends the weekend school there in Houston, he told me he wanted to be a petroleum engineer. So what I try to do is try to find words from the Quran that will help them identify with places they want to go, on career paths they want to take. So we talked about jarrah, right? Jarrah, because petroleum, we talk about oil, right? Jarrah, flowing. So we read the verse in the Quran where it says that there will be paradise with rivers flowing underneath. So I asked him, I says, what does this have to do with oil or petroleum or oil, right? And the students they talked about it a little bit. Askia, she's in the class and come out. So I shared with them that Imam Muhammad, he said that the Arabs were walking on the sand for years, centuries. And he told them that if they submitted to God, submitted to the Quran, submitted to his way, that they will be blessed with the paradise and they will be blessed with rivers flowing underneath. So when you had somebody come that had enough skill and knowledge to drill down and go deep under the surface, they were able to go and to show the Arabs that they had gold flowing underneath their feet. And this is why they have billions of dollars now, right? So in this current day, there are many people who are on the surface of understanding. They have surface level understanding. They have the Quran, right? They're walking on the sand. But they don't have someone skilled or haven't acknowledged the person that was skilled enough to go deep, to drill down deep and get the oil that was flowing underneath the pages of the Quran. So Imam, what of the Deen Muhammad? He is a mujaddid. I would have to say that. Even though we don't just go around and say Imam Muhammad is the mujaddid. But any person that studies our leader, they will see that Allah has blessed him with a superior understanding of the Quran and the ability to go underneath the surface and bring out gems and jewels that will help us, not only just us as African Americans, but any human being. So that's why this was so special. And we can go on and give examples, but you already had examples that have already spoken. But if you're just asking me as a young person, then it would just take time to kind of sit down and study and show a person what Imam Muhammad has said and give him his commentary. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
You had mentioned New Africa.
Yes, sir.
And I thought it was a concept by Imam Muhammad. And we all know that we stand on the shoulders of giants like the Honorable Muhammad, Imam Muhammad. But the question is that how do young white students of Imam, how do they connect in terms of a brain trust, in terms of, you know, you mentioned think big. How are they thinking collectively in terms of Muslim community and investing?
Okay.
Collective investment.
So are you saying like how are they currently thinking or how can they?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like one time we were in a session and Imam Abdullah, someone asked him about you know, what is the plan for New Africa, and he had played a speech from Imam Mohammed, and Imam Mohammed was talking about us having our own roads, our own homes, our own hospitals, etc. So I like the concept and talk about New Africa. We have the concept. So at first we were ghafla of the concept, right? So we were heedless, whether intentional or unintentionally aware, right? So a camel, so in Arabic this word, ghuful, it's like, they describe it as a camel who doesn't care who takes them along, who they don't care, the camel doesn't take care of his young, and the camel just kind of goes with whoever, just kind of strings them along. So we were ghafla, we were heedless, we were unaware of this concept, and Imam Muhammad brought it to our minds, to the aql, right, to the intellect. But there's a saying, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, La aqla kat-tadbir. There is no understanding. There is no understanding of a thing, right? So we understand the concept of New Africa, but there's no understanding of a thing like strategic planning or strategic design. So we have the concept of New Africa, but we have not laid down a strategic plan that says, okay, there's 20 steps, and we're on step 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, and we need these resources to help us get to New Africa. I haven't seen the plan. It may be somebody may have it in their city, or somebody may be working on it, but I haven't seen that produced, and I think it hasn't been produced because it is the responsibility of the young who are professionals and who are business to collectively come up with that strategy and start to put it in place. So to your question, one is like our brother Sharif Abdullah. This is my brother, right? Me and him talk about it all the time. It's just for wherever you are at, your community, for you and the other like-minded individuals, for you to actually put out an actual strategic plan. You have to have a strategy, a full strategy, to say we're going to go from A to Z. And that strategy will involve business, right? It will involve knowing how to work the city, right? It will involve a school and education, right? But if we don't have a plan, if we don't have a strategy, then we'll just be sort of working towards it conceptually in our minds, but not actually making progress towards it, right? So I think that, one, if you don't have a group of young people already who are collective body in your community working, you have to identify somebody that you can grab and train, like Imam Qasim trained Imam Wazir Ali. Imam Wazir trained a group of brothers, including myself. So you have to look for that person and intentionally find that person and train them. Then you take that person and send them out to get other people who look like him or her. So if you want to get young people, you can't just say, I'm going to send Imam Qasim out, regardless of how beautiful he is as a person. He's going to train, if you want to go get people in their 20s, he's going to train me and say, all right, you go out and develop relationships with them. You take them out to eat. You take them out to dinner. You invite them to your house. You play, your children play with their children, and you recruit them to come and help us build New Africa. That's how you have to do it. You have to find a young person, find someone that they can identify with, and you teach them and give them the tools to do it. So part of the answer though to your question, Brother Rasul, is that we need the businessmen and women who are proficient to help us. We need the city planners who are proficient and the builders to help us. So I'm ready. Like I was talking to my younger brother. My younger brother, he just started working at USA as a computer scientist. He's making like above $80,000, and he's 22 years old, by the mercy of God. But we're only going after the money so we can have money to invest. That's it. We're not trying to go buy a bunch of nice cars, none of that. Like, none of it. It's really, that's the only reason I'm going after business now. It's like, okay, I saw New Africa, and I said, okay, these 10 steps need to be made, and business is one of them, so I'm going to go after business. That's it, right? But, so, me and my brother, we wake up every day like, where's the next, like, what, like, young people, the word shabab, right? Shabab is passion, is fire, right? Young people are ready. They just need some direction, and they need you to take them and help. I wake up like, ready to go. Yes. Allahu Akbar.
So the question comes, how much trust do you have in the young brothers like yourself, like Sophia Rub, many young, smart Muslims, to come together to try to create some type of finance, and the start is right there in your own community.
Right.
You buy the properties right there in your own community.
That's right. That's right.
Other people are buying